Hello, just 2 words to tell you that at the end of this video you will find a little quiz to help you see if you recorded the most important things of this new concept called emotional blockages. And for the first video, emotions, I will post a short video in some days with the quiz. So I wish you nice discoveries in this new concept. You just watch now. Have a nice time. Bye bye. Hello everybody! Today I'm going to speak to you about emotional blockages. I'm going to present my own way of observing things, attitudes, behaviors, and analyze them and try to structure a concept so that you can understand it. I try to get all this in a practical way because it's all happening all the time, all around us, always, but we don't identify it when it happens. So I hope that with the information I'm going to give you, with the explanations, you will become more aware of these happenings, of these dramatic happenings. You'll understand just later on why I say that it is dramatic. But you know, it is really very serious. So let's take a moment to think about this and to understand what's the matter. So this all begins in the very first weeks of the life of the newborn. Yes, already then, when the baby tries to express himself by crying. We must realize that at this period of the life, the newborn has no other way of expressing himself than crying. And the drama is that adults cannot stand it. It gets them mad. Sometimes they even have the feeling the baby cries against them. It is a wrong interpretation. And there it begins already. But especially the problem is because the adults cannot stand this crying of the baby, and they want to stop him. And many times they put him a dummy in the mouth so the baby doesn't cry. But you must understand today that it is a kind of violence we make the baby, without wanting, of course, without being aware of this, but it is a kind of violence because we hinder the baby in his expression, in his only expression at the moment. Some adults get very nervous, and so they will shake the baby. And maybe the baby will not cry any longer because he dies. Yes, it is so. It is quite frequent that shaken baby die. And with the others, some will be handicapped for all their lives. So this could all be prevented if we knew a bit more about the crying of the babies and about the way we can deal with this problem. I will explain all this in another video. So let's come back to the baby and the toddler. When he begins to become a little bit independent, and when the baby wants to do things and he cannot because adults forbid all the things to do, and the baby don't understand why. So this is already a problem, because it is an impediment in his momentum. But the problem is more important than this. The problem is when the baby will express some emotions. So let's come back to what I explained to you in the previous video about the primary and the secondary emotions. I was telling you the primary emotions are survival emotions. So they're automatic. You cannot avoid these emotions to be created when it's needed. So this happens for the small child. He will have quite a lot of primary emotions, and he will express them by sorts of crises, because at this moment of his life he's not able to manage his emotions. And adults want this baby to manage these emotions. But this is not possible. You have to understand, you have to know that to manage an emotion needs a big, well-developed prefrontal lobe. And it is not developed enough when children are small. This will come later, because the brain will have to expand more and more. You know, when the baby is born, his little brain is only 350 grams of weight. But it will develop and get bigger and bigger till being nearly 1.5 kilos in our adult brains. But till then, it will take a long time to make all these new neurons and to connect them all together by thousands and thousands connections on each neuron. It's a huge work. And while they're connecting, they also have to learn many things. It's incredible all these neurons have to do every day. So they cannot do everything at once. It's not magical. It will be created one day after the other. And so, to resume what I'm telling you just now, is that the babies and the little children are not able to manage their emotions.
Prendre un enfant par la main pour l'emmener vers demain, pour lui donner la confiance en son pas. Prendre un enfant pour un roi, prendre un enfant dans ses bras, et pour la première fois sécher ses larmes en étouffant de joie, prendre un enfant dans ses bras.